My dear Patterns of Possibility listeners, I want to let you know that I really do appreciate you listening to this podcast. Your listenership means a lot to me. And this podcast is my sincere gift to you. And maybe you'd like to take action on reciprocating this gift. If you would, I'll mention a few things that are pretty helpful to me in the creation of this podcast. One thing that you could do is rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Make sure to give it 5 stars. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Also, another thing that you can do to support my efforts is to sign up at my email list at Patterns of Possibility. When you sign up, you'll receive actionable steps to making meaningful connections. We talk about everything from people pleasing to ghosting, socializing do's and don'ts, compliments, one-sided friendships, and everything in between. So if you'd like support on making more meaningful connections with your friends and family or businesses and coworkers, sign up. Another thing that you could do is follow me on social media. I'm looking at TikTok in particular because I'm there all of the time. I'm on the road to reach 10,000 followers so that I can live stream some of my workshops. It'd be really helpful, and it would help me bring these opportunities to you for free. The last thing that I could recommend that you do is if you like this podcast and you know of someone who might enjoy it, please share it with that person. Share it with a friend. It really does go a long way. With that said, once again, your listenership means a whole lot to me. Thank you so much for your support. Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about me and my connections with other people. I'm going to talk about specifically some of the habits that I do, just 3 of them. Don't want to overwhelm you, but just 3 of the habits that I do that help make a stronger connection with others. Are you ready? Let's go. This podcast has been around for a while, a couple of years at this point, and I want to thank you for if you've regularly listened, if you've heard some of the stories that I've talked about before. You've been on a journey with me through, discovering myself and connecting with other people, and it's still a journey. I'm still going through the process, just as you will. But along the way, I've discovered that there are some things that I must do in order to maintain a relationship with people. Like, it's something that I do daily, at least, keeping in touch with them and holding space for them. I mean, those are great things. When you want to start the initial conversation, I think it's hard to connect in the first place because maybe we don't know what to say or how to act or where to go. We don't know those things. But when we do make that connection, we also have to maintain it. I think it's even harder to maintain it because perhaps, this is my own theory, but we've been without so long. We've developed a whole routine and got so comfortable with our own selves that when another person comes in, although we welcome them and we want their presence, when it comes down to doing things for ourselves and not focusing on them, it's really easy to slip back into that routine and just not pay attention to them, not reach out to them and do some of those things. So here's what I do. I want to share 3 of the things that I do to put in effort, because it's mutual, right? You have to put in effort or else it's just going to disappear. And they also have to put in effort, but you can only do as much as you can do. And so what I want to share with you is some of the things that I do. I have 3 daily habits that help me stay connected with other people. So the first habit that I have is express gratitude. So I begin my day or my night, however it works out if I forget during the day, because sometimes I do forget during the day, but at least once a day I express gratitude for the people in my life. I express gratitude for the people in my life, and I say things that, because I believe in affirmations, and I believe in, as much as the way affirmations work for me is that as much as you experience something with your five senses, the more it's going to stick. So when I say something out loud, I use my voice, I have to use my brain to process the words to say out loud. And then I have to use my hearing to receive that information. And I think it's even more powerful if you write it down, but I don't write it down. But that's another dimension to it, so it sticks within you. That's why people in the spiritual community say affirmations and writing things down. Journaling is so powerful, and I certainly believe in those things. But for this purpose, expressing gratitude for the people that are around me, what it does is I say the kind of people that I want to be around me. I say that I am around people who understand and appreciate me, and this is the gratitude piece that comes in along with it, is I say, I'm grateful to have people who understand and appreciate and accept me in my life. And what that does is it comes out of my mouth into my ears, because I have to process all of that, and it gets me thinking, what kind of people are these people? Who are these people that understand and appreciate me? And I'm always thinking about it. Like, programs my subconsciousness to think about what these people do, how they sound, and how they show up. And so I'm primed, essentially, to have these appreciative people in my life. And boom, somebody comes to mind. Boom, this person comes to mind. Who are these people that are appreciative of me? And even if you don't have those kind of people yet, I hope that it would pop the question into your mind, what actions and behaviors do these people do? The ones that understand, appreciate, and accept you. What are those behaviors? So you can have a better chance of finding those people. So that's one of the things that I do. I express gratitude because I want to believe that they're there. I believe that they're there. I just haven't met them yet, if that's the case, but they are there. These are the only kind of people that I hold space for in my life, that I focus on and pay attention to. So expressing gratitude is number one. Number two is active listening. I make an effort to be an active listener. I mean, I have to as a coach. But in my daily life, I want to listen to people and understand. I don't want to be confused about how they feel about their experiences because I mucked it up with my own ideas. I have to put those aside and listen to what's happening in their lives. So this doesn't only strengthen the connection, but it fosters a sense of being heard and understood, right? So I want to make sure that they feel heard and understood. And I recommend that you just spend 5 minutes a day, without your phone, without anything else happening, without the TV on, music, anything like that. And just spend 5 minutes a day focusing on your own thoughts in a quiet space, because this is going to help you with active listening. It's going to get you better at focusing and facing your feelings when they come up, recognizing them when they come up. So it's a practice of quieting them so that you can hear the other person. So this is one of the things that I do often, and people might say it's meditation. And yes, I would agree, meditation. But if I told you it was meditation, you might not want to do it. But there's a purpose to it, and it's to be able to connect with the other person, because everybody wants to be heard, understood, appreciated, and accepted. Of course, I say that in expressing gratitude because I want people in my life who are going to do that for me, so I must be able to do that for them. I will demonstrate how it's done, how I want to be treated. So spending time, active listening, spending time with yourself is a must. And then number 3 might seem like, a no-brainer, but man, it's hard. It's hard. Checking in regularly. That doesn't mean every day. That doesn't mean every few hours with a text message. That could be every few weeks. That could be once a month. But I want to check in on a regular cadence just to say, hello, I'm thinking about you because I'm expressing my gratitude and you come to my mind. I haven't talked to you for a while. How are things going with you? And we can make it as short or as long as we want. But I definitely make an effort to reach out to the people that I care about and say, hello, was just thinking about you. Or hello, I'm going to share something about what's happening in my life. I'm curious about what's happening in your life. So asking about the day, sharing a quick update about what's happening in my life is something that just shows people that you're thinking about them. It shows people that you choose them because your life is busy and you reach out to them. You have time for them because somehow, some way, we just lose track of time. Time, space, energy is just gone. But if you are focused on checking in with them regularly, if you have this expression of gratitude, that's what I do. The expression of gratitude, and these people pop into your mind. Oh, I really like this person because they understand and appreciate me. And then you're like, oh, I haven't thought about them or connected with them. I haven't heard from them lately. Although I'm appreciative of them being in my life. So then you make that move with step number 3 is check in with them. Check in. So I like phone calls, but I also like text messages. I know that some people don't like to pick up the phone for whatever reason. They're busy. I'm busy. I understand. But sharing a quick update. And I think, as far as being on the phone, I think there's some kind of etiquette to it. Now that I think about this, there's some kind of etiquette that we may be missing or have forgotten. It's like you call people for a quick phone call and it just doesn't seem like it's going to be quick. How do you get off the phone with that person? Like, look, I just got 5 minutes. I just want to see how you're doing, and then hang up the phone. But people can talk for more than that. It can go longer, and it's, oops, I don't know how to get off the phone call. Perhaps that's a reason why people don't check in with the phone call regularly. I'd be curious to know your thoughts about that. Do you text to reach out to people? Do you send memes? Or do you actually want to have a phone call conversation, but just don't know how to end it if possible? So to recap, the 3 are expressing gratitude, active listening, and checking in regularly. The key to building strong relationships is consistency and authenticity. You've got to be able to make room for these people that come into your life. Invite them in, create space for them, and make them feel welcome. Are you tired of being around people who just don't get you? Have you been putting yourself out there but not able to find anybody that matches your vibe? You're not alone. Making friends, especially as an adult, is hard. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach, and I want to help you find your tribe. I have a 3-step coaching program for groups and individuals that's designed to help you get to the right place, to meet the right people, to have the right kind of conversations that leave you feeling fulfilled, appreciated, and understood. After going through the Find Your Tribe coaching program, you'll discover who it is that you really want to be connected to, how to find those people, and what you need to talk about so that your relationship moves from an acquaintanceship to a close friendship. And with this program, you won't be on this journey alone. You'll have access to a private community in which there are others who are just as intentional about making the kind of connections you are. You'll also have access to live events like weekly Q&As, speed friending, and much more. You'll be able to practice your skills in a safe environment and feel confident to connect authentically when you get out into the real world. If you're ready to get started on making meaningful connections and lasting relationships, then apply to the coaching program by using the link in the show notes. I'll be right back with the Answer Reddit question. Hey, this is Coach Lee Hopkins here. I just want to let you know that you're awesome and your feelings matter. I know the holidays are fast approaching, and if you're going home to a family to be surrounded by people who don't believe that your feelings matter, and you constantly get caught up in the fighting and the frustrations, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, the obligations that you have with family, I want to empower you to break those generational patterns of disdain and distrust. I will be releasing content from my masterclass, Friends with Family. This content from Friends with Family is going to help you develop skills to be more grounded in yourself so that you can actually connect with your family. You're going to learn to create more connecting and curious conversations. You'll also learn how to navigate high drama topics without getting drawn into a conflict. Now, this course is not going to fix deep-seated problems that you might have with your family members, and it won't heal any traumas that you've experienced. It's going to help you communicate more authentically, to empower you to have regular conversations and actually connect with your family. It's my sincere hope that more of us out there who are breaking those generational patterns to not just stop the pain from moving forward, but to really become friends with our family. If you want to be a part of this, check the link in the show notes. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. What do you do if your friend takes more than 24 hours to respond to your text? A, block them. B, double text. C, just be patient, maybe they're busy. Or D, wait twice as long to text them back when they finally text you. This person was just curious and taking a poll, so I couldn't resist because some of the comments here were just like, oh, I thought they were worthy to see how people treat others when they feel like they're not prioritized, right? So the first comment is, I am this friend, I'm letter C. I will wait. It takes more than 24 hours to respond sometimes because I juggle 3 jobs. I make sure to spend the rest of my hours resting or exercising. And at the end of the day, I have no more energy to spend responding to a text. And I wouldn't want to respond impulsively for the sake of replying to you right on the dot, especially if your message would lead to a lengthy conversation and it's just not a yes or no conversation. So I'm not saying this is the case for everyone. Some might just be uninterested in talking with you, but just saying, for some of us, we are extra busy and we're preserving our energies to keep sane throughout the week. So I wanted to stop here and look at this because I think it's really true, waiting for somebody to respond, to you, giving them time and grace. I imagine that maybe people who are listening here would think like, what the heck are they doing? What's taking so long for them to respond to me? It's been the entire day and then it's been 2 days. Some people have ADHD and they'll look at the text and they'll read it and they'll think, well, I am going to respond, but then they forget about it. And it's been 2-3 days. And the person on the other end who sent the text message was like, hey, why didn't you respond? Why did you ignore me? Because there's no information going on the other side. But I like what this person says. They prioritize the person who wrote this. They also mentioned that they allot at the end of the day. They allot like 30 to 45 minutes at the end of the day to respond to people. And at the very least, they follow up with them. If they say that this is what they're doing. So somebody text messages you at 8 in the morning and at the end of the day at 6 p.m. after you're off work, then this is when you look at your phone and you start responding to these messages. I would say that this person is being very thoughtful about responding to these messages, and the people who are sending them, they must know that this is how they're going to be treated. It's not essentially a bad thing. It's a communication style that is here. And so we want to make sure that when we're connecting with people, that we know their communication style as well. We want people to check in on us. We want people to support us. We want people to know us. And how they communicate is one of those things that we want to know about them. So being all butthurt and upset and frustrated because they didn't respond, it took them 12 full hours to respond to you, might be something that would damage your relationship if you didn't talk about it and accept this person for who they are and how they're going to communicate. The relationship will instantly become toxic if you really try and change that about that person's communication style. If you put so much focus and energy into making them be somebody you want them to be rather than accepting how they communicate. So this person is making an effort. This person is making an effort and they reach out every day. That's what they're saying. So I think that's really cool. Let's look at some of the other ones. Here's another one that says, I would say just be patient for now and see if this becomes a reoccurring thing. If it does, and they don't make an effort to get back to you at all, then try calling them on the day they are off from work and letting them know how you feel. Yes, people have lives and things they consider priorities, but friends should be one of those priorities. Not saying you have to talk every day, but friends should at least make an effort to stay in touch, even if it's just 2 times a week. Maybe you can tell your friend that you like to do that, you like to talk more often, just so you don't lose the connection as friends. If they care about this friendship, they'll make it work. The whole I'm busy thing can only go so far. No one is that busy. So don't double text because they got your first one. You know what kind of friendship you want. If their idea of friendship doesn't align with yours, then you have no choice but to move on. Anyways, I hope this helps because please don't worry too much. And please don't worry too much. In the meantime, focus on your life, hobbies, and the people who do want to talk to you. So I like what this person said. I mean, it's almost like I wrote it. I didn't write it, but it's almost like something that I would have written. Essentially, don't try and reach out. Try a different mode of communication, which is picking up the phone and calling them and expressing your feelings like, hey, you ignored my text messages, or this is how you feel on your side. I feel like I'm ignored. I don't think that we're that busy. I would really like to be able to talk to you. And if you are that busy, then it doesn't seem to align with the kind of friendship that I want from you. So got to let go. I'm not going to try and change you and make you somebody you're not. I really want to just go find people who I don't have to try and change. I really would rather spend the energy loving on them and appreciating them, having fun things, doing fun things together instead of trying to change them, So I really agree with this. I really like this, what these people wrote. But anyway, I'd be curious to know about you. This is for your own sake. I'm curious, how do you deal with people if your friend texts you and, if you text your friend, rather, and it takes more than 24 hours to respond? Block them, double text, be patient because they're busy, or wait twice as long to text them back when they finally text you. I'd be curious to know what you actually have done and any stories associated with it. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.